Okay, this is another little place that's always good. If you can find strings of boat docks where there's not just a boat dock in front of somebody's house. You look back up there, this is woods. This particular area on Lake Tenkiller is called Deepwell. Actually, the very first boat dock out there, it's a different dock now, but the one back this side of there, well, we owned that dock at one time. Well, I say we, my dad owned it. I fished in there all the time. But, and I'm gonna do something a little bit different. I've actually got a little crappie magic jig on there. And one of the things you definitely want to do, I'm trying to cast under those cables, is have you a handful of crappie magic jigs and some swimming minnows or lucky bugs or something like that in your pocket, because if you get out and start fishing from the bank around all these boat docks and cables and all of that, you're definitely going to lose a few baits. This is one of the dangerous places to fish from the standpoint of losing lures. The crappie are probably all out under the docks right now, and we don't want to get out and walk on anybody's walkways or their docks. And they got a chain on that one right there and probably says no fishing on it. I didn't even look at it. I come down underneath it. But if you fish in the springtime, this pocket right here, Deepwell, you can come in here and fish off the bank in the springtime when those crappie are spawning, and I'll guarantee you catch more off the bank than they'll catch out of those docks. Now, you can drive to this side of the cove. You can drive to the other side of the cove. There's no houses down around this pocket right here, so you can fish all in behind all these docks all you want. Summertime, throw a plastic worm in behind the docks. It's real good. Good spinnerbait fishing. As a matter of fact, I think I'm gonna fish this jig a little bit, maybe around a little ways down there. Don't catch any fish on it. I'm gonna go back to get my spinnerbait rod and go down the bank toward the end of the pocket just a little bit. The dock's in. This is the very last dock right here. But now if I was fishing, you know, you spend an hour or 2 hours, a half a day right in here, and then go fish on the other side of it. And you've got great water to fish. You can catch a lot of fish right here. And like I said, if you're in the springtime, you just walk up and down these banks with this little crappie magic jig, you're gonna catch a limit of crappie. 2 or 3 limits probably. And they'll be big ones too. They're not gonna be underneath those docks. They're gonna be up here in these rocks in close to the bank where you could reach them. And absolutely no need to be out in the boat at all. Just fish them from the bank. This is one of the really big deals about driving down here and fishing in Deepwell. Really and truly, hardly anybody ever comes in here except people that live around here and know where this is. So you can come in here and you can see what I've got right here. I can fish all the way down this bank. I can walk down through here with a spinnerbait fishing. I can crankbait with a square bill where I can run it off out in the middle of it and throw out and bring it in and won't have to worry about getting hung up too much. I can go down here and parallel the bank like I'm doing right now and actually work all the way back to the end, all the way back to the end. And it's all good fishing. It's a very good area, all good. And that's what you want to do when you're fishing the bank. Get where you throw out in front of you. You can fish the bank in, fish in close to the bank if you want. You throw out a little bit further, slow roll that spinnerbait. The thing about a spinnerbait, it's not going to get hung up very often. One of the things I would advise is make sure you got maybe a little belly pack or something on it's got a few extra baits in it, because invariably you get down there about 200 yards and you get hung up and break your lure off and you're 200 yards away from your vehicle. That's all you got to do is just keep working down the bank and, you know, like a cast, and you've done a lot more really than somebody can do in a boat. The other thing about fishing off the bank like this, it's a lot easier to spot lock. All you have to do is spot lock and just don't move your feet. That's kind of corny. Funny though. This particular boat ramp and recreation area on Lake Tenkiller is called Elk Creek. I worked at Elk Creek when I was a kid in high school and in college. I actually built the marina at Elk Creek. I actually built almost all of it pretty much by myself. Had a little supervision, but most of the labor was done by, that's right, me. But this is really one of the prime real estate bank fishing areas right here. They've got a great campground here. But one of the things that makes it really good is all the rocks. You see all the rocks going this way, and you go on up there, and there's jetties coming out. There's a jetty right over there that's got a lot of rocks on it that you can go over there and fish around. This boat ramp is a big boat ramp, and it drops off out there at the end of it. So it's have a real good ledge, so you can actually throw your bait out there and just throw right out there at the edge of it. Let it fall down a little bit, slow roll it back in, and have a great opportunity to catch a fish. It does have a dock here also. One bit it right there, and I didn't catch him. Probably a 5-pounder. But and you can fish from here at the ramp all the way down to the marina. The marina is actually where you see all those pelicans. The marina is actually back there in a cove. And another great place to fish, we'll talk about when we get back here at the marina. We'll go over there and fish here in a little bit too. But you can fish all the way down. I mean, you can walk on the bank all the way down. Very comfortable, easy walking. Again, you got all those posts that's out there for that pier to fish around. A lot of times there's going to be fish on those posts. Wood and posts and things like that have not had fish on it today. Normally they do, and probably they do, it's just not biting. I don't know how many fish I've had bite that I have not caught. I've missed a lot of fish today. It's just really it's a bad bite. They're just not biting good. That's all there is to it. But these are the kind of places you want to look for. I've got a couple other places I want to show you before we have to quit. It's getting kind of late in the evening, and we only got about an hour left. But I got a couple other places I want to show you. And remember, we're talking about Lake 10 Killer. Everything I'm showing you, everything I'm talking about, works well on a lot of the other lakes too. If it's the right time of the year, a sinking worm, like a lucky sink, works really, really good. There's a sinking worm, you can rig it Texas style or wacky rig. Texas style is pretty much weedless, so you can fish all around these kind of places from the bank, not get hung up very often. Spinner bait obviously works good at topwater. You get time of the year to use a topwater or buzz bait. You try to concentrate on the baits that you have confidence in, that you can fish and not get hung up very often. Because again, you're fishing off the bank, so you get hung up out there, you lose a lot of lures, so you don't have a chance to. I'm going to walk out there on that little rocky point right there. There's 2 or 3 or 4 of these little levees that are in this Elk Creek area. They've got rocks out on them, and they're just like the rocks that's down there around that Cooks and Bend area. A lot of times they got big bass on them. And sometimes you pull in there and catch 3 or 4. The lake where that level was normal, where I'm standing right now, would have 3 or 4 foot of water over the top of it, which would be excellent, excellent, excellent place to catch a bass. One of the key things to be thinking about if you're going to be fishing from the bank is always be thinking about how can I find some places that I can fish from the bank that folks can't fish from a boat, period. They can't fish from a boat, period. Now, there's not a lot of places like that because you can take your boat just about everywhere. But back in behind marinas is generally one of those type places. Now, you can fish where I'm fishing right now if you're fishing up on the marina. Many marinas don't let anybody fish off the marina, even if they got a boat slip there, they don't. Some places you can fish if you got a boat slip, but a lot of, if the fancier the marina, the less you can fish. But they can't keep you from fishing off the shoreline, and you can fish some of these areas, and like this place where we're fishing right now, the cables are crisscrossed in here. But can I tell you, this is where a lot of bank fishing is done. And I'm gonna tell you how I know a lot of bank fishing is done. See right there on that cable? There's a lure there. You see out on that cable? There's a bobber there. So people fish here. Crappie fishing is real good here in the springtime. Now, I can't fish all of it, and I have to be kindly careful. I can walk down, but I can fish where, out in the middle, I don't have a whole lot to throw, but a lot of times, I was playing the wind there. Might have to go back to my truck and get me another spinnerbait. Sure, it's a whirl. How do you get hung on something so big, Jimmy? Huh. It is hung too. That makes you feel really good when you're bait fishing. If you're going to lose one of your spinner baits and somehow you got it back. I allowed for the wind. The wind didn't help me any. But again, nobody can fish this at all except from the bank. So this whole area all back in behind this dock. In the springtime, it's going to have crappie spawning on this bank right here. It's going to have largemouth bass in here. And this area here gets a little dicey because of those cables, but you can kind of cast down underneath those cables, have a great opportunity to catch a fish. And what I would do, if I had the time, I would go fish all the way down, all the way down. You're going to end up in the end of that little pocket there, and probably be some bass in the end of that little pocket. But keep in mind, when you're fishing off the bank, where in the world can I fish that the people in the boat can't go fishing? There's always going to be some fish there. All right, I want to end this thing by kind of just reminding you, I don't need to tell anybody that the most popular place to bank fish all across anywhere in the country is bridges. We got a bridge right here. Now, one of the problems we have here on 10 killers, we only got a couple of bridges. This one and the river bridge. The river bridge, it's difficult to find a place to park up there around it. It's a lot easier to fish than this one. But you've got riprap. This is natural rock riprap here. They'd have to put riprap around this bridge here. But you cannot, oh, Jimmy, what did I do? You ever do that? Caught a tree behind me. You ever do that, huh? But you can't reach the pilings, and the pilings are one of the best places to fish. A lot of bridges you can reach the pilings. But one of the things that makes this such a special place is, in case you don't know it, everybody fishes bridge pilings and places. You got a creek channel or a river channel. This happens to be a creek channel right here that's running by, so you got deep water close by to the bank. You've got either riprap or rocks. Natural rock. We got natural rock here. If they don't have natural rock, they put riprap around there, which is excellent. You always want to fish riprap, even if you're in a boat. And never pass riprap. Always stop and fish it. Even if you fished it 2 or 3 hours earlier and didn't catch anything, next time you go by it, stop and fish for 10 minutes. They move up and down in these kind of places. You can be fishing these kind of places and not hardly getting a bite, and all of a sudden catch several. You can pull into a riprap a lot of times and catch 4 or 5 big bass just real quick because they just moved up there to feed. One of the things about it, when they come to these kind of places, they're usually in here to eat, and so you can usually catch them. You got rocks, you got concrete, obviously bridge pilings. Many places you can reach those bridge pilings from the bank. Can't reach them here on either side. The other side here on Dry Creek is a big steep bluff, so can't really do anything there. I'm just going to make a few casts here. I just wanted to end this thing on this, showing you this spot right here. We've talked about quite a few places to catch them today. Exact places of 10 killer. So if you want to come and bank fish off 10 killer, a lot of great campgrounds you can camp out, a lot of great places to stay down here, motels and stuff. Incredibly great lake. You can come down here and bank fish and just have you a blast. You come down here in March and April, you go to these places that I've been talking about here today, I'm telling you, you're going to smoke them. You're going to end up at the end of the day with a big bunch of fish. As a matter of fact, some of these places, you may go to just one of them and stay there all day. The places that I've talked to you about and the things to fish and the right baits in the springtime are just absolutely dynamite. We haven't caught much today. And what you can always do when you come to 10 killer and fish off the bank all day long, you say, I think I'll just go by Jimmy Houston Marine and talk to Jamie Houston, buy me a new boat. And then you won't even have to worry about bank fishing. Guys and girls, have you a great one out there. Remember, I sure do love you.